My name is Jonathan Morgan, and I'm applying for the Masters of Pastoral Studies at Emmanuel with a hope to get into the spiritual care and psychotherapy stream within a Buddhist context. So I'm just going to talk a bit about some, I think, foundational experiences, spiritual experiences that have led me to this juncture. I didn't grow up in a religious household, although my ancestry would be Protestant on both sides. My parents were not practicing when my brother and I were born. However, my father and my mom, but primarily, interestingly, the men really had a big role in taking us outdoors all the time, whether it be fishing or canoeing or whatever. And even though most of them were men of few words, what was really passed on to us was kind of integrating ourselves within the cycles of nature and also having a respect and a reverence. And for me, as a queer kid, sometimes those experiences could just be a bit intense. And so I always kind of could turn away and kind of be buffered by, I feel like, support and love through natural means. Um, I really kind of would heal in those contexts and see the interconnectedness of everything. And then as a teenager, I was still closeted and still in a small town, but I found, I guess, neo paganism or Wicca with a few friends, and that was really served as a time to formalize a kind of a spiritual connection and within a natural context and really honoring cycles. And then beyond that, it would have been in my early 20s when I was experiencing like significant loss for the first time through the death of my father. Um, I just decided to believe at that point because I was questioning like where is he and things like that, and I thought because I always came from a secular uh, place, um, I knew that my feelings and my behaviors and my thoughts really shaped my cognitive framework, and I decided at that point to go with what I believed in and kind of make that central. And that started my healing journey. I had been experiencing some depression and anxiety in terms of accessing psychotherapy, but also really kind of starting my Buddhist path in terms of really learning practical meditation, whether through Vipassana silent retreats or mindfulness based stress reduction workshops. And then later picking that up at U of T when I did my Buddhist psych minor. In terms of ways that I think I could grow in this program, I think I could really bring in the ecological into counseling context. And I think nature is a really nice starting point that everybody can kind of connect to, whether they're spiritual or not. And I think from an interreligious perspective, also, it's an easy kind of place to bring people together. And for me, that's important. Um, Maybe because I'm queer, I don't know. I studied sociology and I have a social justice bent. So that is important to me as well. And so is kind of bolstering community and also situating community within place, right, within a landscape. And so I also think that, we can apply a decolonial lens to, I would like to do that anyway, to the work that I do. And we can take a lot of lessons and see a lot of alliances between worldviews when considering, I know I'm pan-indigenizing here, but like our brothers and sisters, our indigenous brothers and sisters, holism is like extends beyond just mind, body, spirit, emotion to, community health and ancestral health and environmental health, and also just seeing spirit in nature. I think some challenges that I might have, just because I think my spiritual path has been eh, fairly independent, um, would just be, I think that within me sometimes there's this imposter syndrome. So I might have a few struggles um, believing that I have the ability to give spiritual direction. But that said, I also think that that I can and that I have a lot of experience. Um, so I look forward to starting an education that's a bit more formalized in this context. Um, and then I think it's just more about kind of living more consistently within a spiritual framework. I tend to go through these heavy cycles of doing meditation every day, and then I come out, and I think it's better to just kind of maybe pressure myself a bit less so that I have a bit of more of a consistent approach. or more balance. For me, I think it would just be kind of increasing self discipline and focus, and I think being in a school context would help facilitate that. And and also just kind of for me, it's about sometimes clarifying when I actually do need a break and when I'm being avoided. So that might be a challenge, but I think it's something that I can overcome. But I will leave it there for today, and I thank you for considering me.